all gonna watch TV tonight. So,
How is everybody tonight?
That was last night.
Very well, thank you.
I am Liz Emerson. I am the senior planner with the North Country Council. And joining me tonight is Michelle Morin-Gray, who is the executive director, and Taylor Roy, who is our planning assistant from North Country Council. She will be helping all of us. We'll be working together to do the master plan update.
Perfect.
Great.
Nice to meet you, Taylor.
So all of you are familiar with what the master plan is. It's the long-range plan that guides decision makers in the direction that the community wants to go. It provides the framework for things like land use, housing, transportation, natural resources, and public services. The timeline, tonight is the kickoff. And I know Michelle had deployed the structure survey. We have 3 responses so far. And I will pass it over to Michelle to explain kind of what the structure survey is all about.
Sure, thank you. So we sent a survey, so basically what we did is we took a look at your current master plan. We pulled all of the data points that's in that plan. And we kind of asked some questions to you all, meaning the planning board, the local officials, the residents that might use the master plan most often. So it's really kind of a structure survey only. It's not asking about your vision. It's not asking what you want in the future. It's really asking, are these data points still relevant? Do we need to update them and carry them forward? Do we want to just get rid of them? Are there missing data points? Do you like the structure of your plan? Are there missing chapters or elements? And so it's really aimed at asking questions so that we can come out with a framework for what your next master plan structure is going to look like. And originally our plan was to have the survey go out prior to the holidays or during the holidays really, and then provide a summary of that at this meeting, but we really wanted to move it away from the holidays so folks had an opportunity to really participate fully in that survey. And so that's really, anybody can take that survey. So if you have residents that are interested in taking it, they can. And we can look at it several ways according to who's responding. So an email went out, I think, last week or the week before with that information. If you could take a moment and really first look at your current master plan, and then second, take a few minutes to go through the survey. I will say it will take a few seconds to get through it, so set aside at least 20 minutes to go through it. It is kind of, I don't want to say it's a heavy lift, but there's a lot of questions. Really aimed at what's the framework that we want to see in the future. Questions?
Do we have a close date for that?
The close date is, I believe, the 13th.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's coming right up.
so about a week.
And we can extend it if we need to, that's fine. I think what we'll do is we'll take a look at, it is the 13th, we'll take a look at the responses, and if folks still haven't had an opportunity to really carve out a chunk of time to participate, we can extend it a little bit further.
Do you guys think you'll need more time, or do you think the 13th is
It's fair.
good, or do you just want us to wait and see?
No, I think that should be
It's
good.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So, after the close of the structure survey, for the rest of January and into February, Taylor and I will be working with the planning board and the master plan update committee, doing data collection, holding the interviews, and analyzing. The town had deployed a survey, so we will start analyzing those survey results as well. Then, come March, we will hold the community forum, which we'll talk about in just a second when we get to the public outreach. And then April, we will continue with the interviews, continued survey analysis, and we will begin drafting the vision and land use elements. then we're hoping to have the drafts, the first drafts ready, somewhere in May, to present to you guys and the planning board. Are you guys mostly the planning board members, or is it a mixture?
Mostly steering committee tonight. We have Joseph Fiona, we have Mark Olson and Paul Marks on planning board,
Okay,
and myself.
so we may not necessarily have to meet with the planning board. If you guys are kind of taking lead on this, then we can just meet with you, but we can also meet with the planning board if necessary.
What do you think, Mark?
The whole board? I don't know. What do you, I think we're probably okay without that.
I think so.
Okay. Perfect. Then, so May, we'll have the first drafts ready, and we'll give it to you guys to review. Then we'll do one round of revisions, and then we're hoping to have the final drafts ready for adoption in June. So we're hoping to have this phase one wrapped up somewhere around June or July, beginning in July. Alrighty, so the tasks, activities, and outcomes. Tonight is the kickoff meeting. The next step is public engagement. And Michelle, I don't know if you want to take it over for the community forum. If you want to give them dates and times, or.
Yep, so we can do that. So we had talked about one of our tasks is to facilitate a community forum. And I think I worked with Tia on some dates. And so tonight, we really want to nail down the details of that community forum. So I have a lot of questions and some decisions that we kind of need to make around that. Our first thought is for this community forum, you know, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it as a come between the hours of, you know, it's like usually a 2-hour block, and we do small table activities and then report outs to the entire group. It allows people to be comfortable in a smaller setting, providing their input and their ideas and their thoughts. It creates some synergy amongst those small tables, and then you kind of see that energy build in the room to the larger group, kind of starting to see some you know, cross-cutting themes and like ideas. And we've had quite a bit of success doing community forums in that format. We usually shape it around 2 to 3 questions. And those questions help really shape the vision of your master plan. We always ask that, you know, there's food provided, and we can talk about that in a minute. The other way that we've done this is the other way we've done it is in an open house style, where people come between the hours of, you know, it's usually a 2 or 3 hour block. It is not quite as engaging, and so they come in and they'll interact with pretty much stationary activities, meaning we do things like bean counting, meaning, you know, here's the top 3 things that we might pull stuff out of the survey that you guys deployed. Here's the top 3 things that were recognized in the survey. Which ones do you agree with? We've done table drawings where people are, you know, what's your vision for the community of Madison in 3 or 5 years? We've done those type of activities in scenarios where we've seen a lot of low participation in communities, or it's a period of time when folks are just really, really burdened with a lot of extra activities. My recommendation, and I think it would work well for this group and your community, is to do the small table activities, hold it as a true community forum versus, you know, we try to stay away from, you know, community public hearing or something that sounds really kind of stuffy and formal. And they come in and we feed people, we welcome people, and we really start to get some energy going in that space. So that would be my recommendation, holding it on. I think the date, Tia, we confirmed some space just so we can have placeholders, and I think that was March 21st at the school you confirmed, is that right?
28th, I think, was the school gym. Yeah,
Yes.
school gym,
I don't think the 28th is available. Oh, it's only available on the
only
28th.
available, yeah. Yep.
So the 28th, sorry about that, and backwards. So the 28th of March, and we did place a hold on the school for that space. And usually we recommend blocks of time, you know, either 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, or 1 o'clock. We just did a 1 o'clock one in another community, and I can tell you that hanging on to people between the hours of like 2 and 3 it was very, very challenging. So I would recommend, what time is your transfer station open?
7.
7.
Okay, so we've got to always have to stay away from the transfer station hours, that's important. I mean, I would recommend doing the 11 to 1 time slot, but you guys know your community better as far as what time slot folks might be more apt to come to. And I guess, does the 28th work?
I have nothing else on
Yeah.
that day right now.
That 2 o'clock
My daughter,
slump is
granddaughter's
really,
birthday.
it's really killer. The energy
My
fades
granddaughter's
at 2,
will be that.
I've noticed.
Yeah, I think the mid-morning is fine if it's okay with y'all. Yeah? All right. You said 11?
Yeah, so, I mean, can we do 11 to 1?
Yeah.
Do we think that'll work?
Sounds good.
All right,
Book it.
and the 28th is a good date?
Yes.
Is that, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing.
Yes.
Yes.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. And then, let's see. So a couple of things is, we'll develop a flyer and we'll develop, language for Facebook posts. We'll put those into your hand and, you know, we recommend that you hang flyers around town, post the details on your website, share through Facebook channels and community platforms, share it wide and far. We have information on there about, we've already actually drafted the flyer. I can share that with you. Let me see if I can do that. I have the power.
Do you want me to stop sharing?
I don't know, let me just see if I can share right over you. I don't know what you're seeing, I don't know what anybody's seeing.
There you go.
We have it.
Alright,
Look at that, the power to be.
so what we can do is, can you guys see that pretty well? Not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's better.
So this is kind of the draft of it. What we do is we do use a QR code. We use a QR code and this link here, and then also you can always reach out to us. We ask for people just to contact us to let us know that they'll be joining, and it's just for planning purposes, right? So we leave it open all the way to the end. It just gives us an idea of how many people we can expect to be there. Now that we know the date and the time, I'll fill that in. I'll send that to you guys as draft, and we just want to approve that as quickly as possible, and then we'll send you the final version to start distributing. I guess one question I have is, do you guys have any challenges with color printing? Because we can change this to black and white if that will be an issue.
Kate, can we print it in color?
Yeah,
Here?
it's office, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna stop sharing. I think it should just go back to you, Liz, I think. Yeah. So some of the event logistics, we're going to need to, we were kind of already, secured and confirmed the meeting location. And so that's great. We need to understand, we'll need a contact as far as who do we contact at the school to understand, the space and what the audio video needs are, or what they have, what we need to bring in the layout, just so we're ready for what our space looks like and how we want to set it up. The one thing that we ask of this group is to secure refreshments. So securing food, drinks, and any type of, the paper goods that needs to go with that. We've done it a couple of ways. We've seen communities just reach out and ask for donations from different restaurants. Some communities had money in their budget to do this. And the last one we just went to, it was a church group that's pretty active that actually put on a pretty good small lunch. I would say because of the time frame, I would do, if they can do just a light, like, I don't know, the last one we did was chili. The one we did before was, half sandwiches, things like that. But just something so that as people are there, we are asking them to spend their lunchtime with us. We're providing them with at least something to get them through the time frame. And I don't know, we can brainstorm some ideas on that, but we typically ask somebody to kind of take the lead on that.
Yeah,
And,
Heather Woodward said that she would help with that. She's not here tonight, but she's also the principal, so we can connect with her and see what she thinks about the food situation, and then she can also give you more information about the space itself.
Okay, so I can connect with you after this. And then what we ask is, somebody from this group to kind of take the lead on making sure that happens that day, right? We usually come in and say, this is where the food's gonna go. Will that work for you? And then whoever is taking the lead on that piece, it just, that's kind of in your court to make happen. The other piece is the day of the day of the event. We ask that we have a couple of 1 or 2 people to kind of help us set up, especially if there's any setting up of tables and moving things around. It just kind of helps us move a little bit quicker. Once again, the setup of refreshments, we ask you guys to kind of designate a person to take the lead on that. We do ask for help to break down and then obviously cleaning up any of the space, whatever we're gonna have to be responsible for cleanup of use of the space.
Yeah, sure. I'll be there.
And we can kind of, what I can do to you is I can send you the form that we kind of use to kind of keep track of who's doing what, so we can keep checking in. And then maybe you and I can brainstorm on who's gonna fill these roles and be there in order to kind of help out. And that way we have the details as far as like what time should you show up and how long does some of this stuff take, other than the time frame of the event.
Sure. Sounds good.
Yeah. So just to go to the format, doing small table activities and then reporting out to the larger group. Some of the activities that we might do, we typically, like I said, ask 3 questions. We might ask things like, what do you love about the community? What would you like to see change? What does thriving in Madison look like 10 to 20 years from now? Those are all good questions that help shape what the vision will look like. That combined with the survey that you guys have already deployed, we'll take a look at that and pull some stuff from that too. If there's anything there's like a big question that's hanging out or kind of a common theme that's going through that, we might be able to ask a question around that as well. But it typically really has to do with, what do you love about your community? What do you want to see change? And what does it look like to you, 10, 20 years in the future?
Are there any like hot topics in Madison, any topics that we should get feedback on? Or are there any topics that we shouldn't get feedback on? Do you guys know of anything, controversial issues that should be asked for the master plan or shouldn't be asked?
Well, telecommunications, pretty hot lately.
Okay,
Cell phone towers, pretty hot topic.
okay.
Housing.
STRs?
Yeah,
STRs?
Okay.
Not saying
And
we
I haven't
shouldn't
take-
ask about
I
it,
haven't
I'm
taken a look at
telling you it's hot.
what the survey, what the town survey has put out, but Do you know if there was any questions in regards to these in that survey?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that all.
Not specifically.
Okay.
I would think some of those would come up, in a generic question if we ask what are the challenges,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, we asked, what's Madison doing well, what can we work on? But that's
Okay.
very generic.
Okay, did you ask the opposite of that too?
Yes, what do we do well?
Okay, so we can take a look at that too and see what might be standing out. That's good, because then that will get us, between those questions that were asked in the survey and the potential, like what would you like to see changed? We will potentially get to some of those hot topic issues, without, directly addressing them, which you don't want those issues to kind of overpower the full conversation of the forum.
Yeah,
I just want to be prepared to see what we're going to be stepping into.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. So other questions about the community forum? I think it's a good time of year to do it. It's, right after winter, people are coming out, a little spring fever happening, so.
Anybody have any questions or? Good to keep going?
yeah, good to go.
I don't know if I
I guess, do you want me to talk a little bit about the master plan survey?
Sure.
So I'll just, since it's right here in task 2 with engagement. So the other piece of engagement is a survey that you folks put out and got a pretty big response to, which is, you should be pretty excited about that response level. We're gonna take a look at that, we're gonna review it and do a summary of that for you to see what's the cross threads in there, what are people saying, and pull that information out. We haven't started that yet, but we will start that. And that kind of added to the summary of the community forum and other pieces, the data that we see is going to help really shape the elements that we're updating. The other piece too, for this public engagement piece is stakeholder key informant interviews. And for this task, we already have a list that's been populated by you folks of individuals or groups to hold these key informant interviews. We're going to develop the questions for you to ask, and then we'll ask that there's a handful or 1 or 2 folks from the group to volunteer to conduct these interviews. If you haven't done a key informant interview before, we'll sit down with you ahead of time as a group, whoever's going to be conducting them, and kind of just go over the importance of kind of making sure we follow the questions. And it's easy to kind of get off topic because it's fun to talk to people and hear what they have to say, but we really want to try to get as many of the questions that we put on there answered. And I would say for this piece of it, we'll take the information that you collect and we'll put it into a summary. I would say if there's, any stakeholders or any group that you want to hold key informant interviews with, but you're hesitant to because maybe they won't talk to you, right? There's some folks that are just not going to talk to people that are tied to, local government. I'll just say it that way. So if there are some folks that you feel, we really, really want them to answer these questions, but we know they're not going to talk to us, let's have that conversation, and one of us as staff can conduct that interview, because it's important to have all voices. We don't want somebody to not participate because they don't want to interview with certain people. We haven't had that happen in recent years, but we know that it can happen, so we want to just be aware of it as we're doing it. And I would say the key informant interviews, once we have the questions down, we'll run those questions by you folks and thumbs up, thumbs down. These key informant interviews shouldn't really take your talker is probably gonna take maybe 45 minutes, but they should be really geared towards not taking a lot of folks' times, like 30 minutes max. We wanna be respectful of their time and value their time, but you'll have some talkers that might go for 45 minutes, so. But we'll get the questions together for you, we'll talk to you about how we wanna conduct those. And then if there's anybody that we've identified right off that you want us to interview, we can do that. The other thing we can do too is, we can help you kind of create a system of bookings if you want to, some ideas on how to streamline the process so that it's, we've done it before where it's like, okay, stakeholder interviews, we set these 3 days aside and we do them all in 3 days, and sometimes it just makes that communication of going back and forth on when is a good time for you, well, that doesn't work for me, it just makes it a little bit smoother, but we can work with that, with the group that's gonna do those, to kind of streamline it. And we already talked about the structure survey. So I think that is it for the public engagement. Yeah, you'll see, now that we have the date of the forum, you'll see the flyer come out. I guess that is a question for you. We have the QR code on there. We have the link to the registration. We have an email address to contact, so if all else fails and the QR code doesn't work in the registration, they can call us, they can email us. I'm assuming that's gonna work for your community. Are there other ways that you feel might work better? Do you want that number to be the town's number instead of us? We usually field those calls for other events like this. So I just wanna make sure that we're headed in the right direction for that.
Yeah, I think that would be fine, and then it won't
Okay.
be going to Kate. You're like, yes, please,
You're gonna
thank
be
you.
really quiet about that?
It takes the lift off of you folks, and puts it on us, and then also it allows anybody that has questions to be able to ask it, in a manner that's not maybe intimidating, or, they just wanna know what's going on without getting involved completely with the town, so it kinda gives that a little bit of separation in that respect.
I promise we're not scary, but yes, that sounds good.
No, totally, yeah.
Alright,
Alright,
so I will take it back over. I believe the next slide is all about the public engagement, which I think we've got that covered.
yep,
So next, like I said, we are hoping to have a draft vision element ready, for you guys sometime in May. And the vision element, is a summary of what the community wants. It's a long-term statement that reflects the values, priorities, hopes for the community. And it takes all of the data collection that we're doing, and just puts it into one nice little element. Then after, we will continue data collection, and updating data. Do you guys have any areas of the current master plan that you will want to remove, or that you want to keep, or just we'll draft it, update it, and then present the draft? So there's two different ways. We could either take your guys' recommendations if you have any and implement that into the update, or we can start from scratch.
Question, is it only for land use at this point,
So-
or is it for?
Yeah, for the data, so there is some data in the vision chapter, and then there definitely is data in the land use. So if there's any topics that you want to keep in there, then definitely let us know.
Okay. I feel like
Um,
after we get.
It could also be topics like potentially things you like you wanna see in terms of like population projections, It could be years of residency, so maybe how long someone has lived in your town, things like that.
I wouldn't mind seeing like a one pager, like a, just a sheet on population and general stats. Like, oh, here's who lives here in numbers.
Sure.
Because right now it's all scattered
Yeah,
throughout.
so once we get the structure survey back with the data survey, we'll have all those data snapshots, and they can pull what they want into the chapters that we're updating right now. They work nicely.
Perfect.
Maybe how land is used. I'm just trying to think only about the land use portion. I mean, we have stats on current use,
Yep.
zoning,
Which that will all
acreage.
get updated.
Yeah.
Is there anything, other than like the population and general stats that you think are missing? Specifically, land use, if there's any, wildlife corridors? I don't know if you guys have a natural resource inventory
Yeah.
from the Conservation Commission. We can pull a couple of pieces if it's recently been updated within, past 2 or 3 years. We can use that data and kind of incorporate that too.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, we have wetland data. We have
Perfect.
info from Green Mountain Conservation Commission. What else?
Upper Saco.
Upper Saco. Yeah, yeah, that would be great to add in the new chain of ponds. That's not in there. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. And then as we're talking about the land use, it just outlines how the land should be designated or used to reach the community's visions. We want controlled, sustainable growth. And then we'll see if there's any ideas. I haven't looked at the town's master plan survey, but I don't know if there was any questions specific to land use in that, but we'll definitely take a look and incorporate that as well.
Yeah, I think we kind of steered away from it. We had an
Okay.
original draft and it had a lot of questions. We kind of narrowed it down.
Okay.
But I think
Perfect.
that we can draw out from those general questions of what do you value most about Madison? And
Yep.
I think that will,
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Show us.
There's generic questions like, what do you love most? And when people are like, quiet, rural, not a lot of people, it's like, okay, we know which way you want to go for your land use chapter.
yeah.
Sounds good, write it up.
Perfect. All right, the end goal. We just want to give you guys a strong foundation to build upon, and hopefully, if you guys are happy with phase 1, we can move into phase 2, which would be updating the rest of the master plan and incorporating chapters and elements that need to be updated as well.
Okay.
Awesome.
Then the last slide is just how to stay involved, but you guys are already doing it, so great job.
All right, thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, do any of you have any questions, or?
No,
No?
I think we're good. And then we can just keep in touch about the items that you've requested and touching base with Heather Woodward.
Yes, absolutely. We are all in a chain. I don't know if I have everyone's emails, so, I don't know if, Michelle, if you have everyone's emails?
Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about, that a single point of contact.
Okay, single point.
So, yeah,
So they can get funneled or?
yeah, so that we don't create any cross communication that's gonna violate any, quorum stuff or anything like that. is there, Tia, we've been in conversation and contact with you as a single point of contact. Do we wanna keep that, or do we wanna add another person to that? So essentially, you know, communications for like what, you know, here's the flyer for review goes to one person from your group to then disperse. And it kind of saves a little bit in one, potentially getting in a situation where we're making decisions when we shouldn't be making them over email, but then also a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, that's fine.
And confusion. Does that work for you folks?
Do you want to be
It could be
like
2 people, it could be
BCC
3
or-
people, we just prefer it not to be 25 people.
Okay. Should we have Kate and then you BCC, and me?
Okay,
And
yeah,
I'll plan on pushing it all out and doing all
Okay.
of that, but then we're covered, it's official, and we're not talking. Okay. Yeah, so I'll send you Mark's email, you have mine, and then Kate's. Is that okay with you, Kate?
Great, and so what I'll do is, if
They
you
already
send
have
me
it in
those
contract.
after the
They have it,
meeting, I
yeah.
will do a follow-up email and add us all into that chain.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything that you need from us right now, as far as planning our next meeting? Or will you just,
I do, well, actually, I will form a full sentence here. Do you guys just meet whenever, or do you have a set meeting? That's a good one.
we're the first Wednesday of the month usually.
Okay. So I would say depending on how quickly we have folks complete that survey, the structure survey, we could have a summary report for the next meeting, which is,
February 4th.
okay. We could have that and just get it to you guys, far enough in advance so that you can take a look at it, have questions ready, and we can go over any questions. It's pretty straightforward. The last one that we did, it was mostly carry forward, update and carry forward data, and then obviously a few data points that were missing, and then when we did analyze the survey, there were some things that we recommended, you know, this data point's missing, and we recommended pulling some of that stuff forward, so it'll be a pretty straightforward summary, I would think. Maybe I'm wrong, it could be.
Yeah, no. And then, are we hoping to have the community forum information by then as well?
The community forum
Or before that?
information, it should be done, it should be before that, I'm gonna
Okay.
send the, as soon as Tia sends me the other email addresses, I'll finalize that flyer.
Okay.
And that's something that, I don't know if you can make a decision on that without having another meeting. If you could, that would be great.
Can we pull it up
I would
again
say-
real quick? Sorry, and then we can just make the decision now, and then I
Do you
can
wanna do
get the
that?
okay
Yeah.
Sure.
to send it.
So let's see, let me go back.
Stop sharing screen.
Let me see if I can move this bar out of the way. There we go. Can you folks see that?
Yep.
Alright. And so we decided the time is gonna be from 11 to 1. And I will put that in there.
Yeah, sure. And then can you scroll down?
Yep, I can. I'm gonna actually, right here, it bleeds together a little bit, this .org 2, so I'll put 2 on the second line, cause it reads funny. This QR code just goes to a Microsoft Forms is what it goes to.
Is it what the future Madison can look like, or future of Madison can look like? Is that,
No, that's,
does that make sense? Okay.
makes sense both ways, it all depends on what you're trying to say. I think it's
Yeah,
right,
you tell,
I think it's right the way it is.
Okay.
For what they're trying to say.
All right.
to keep it as is, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
put an of.
I think that looks fine.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll finalize it. If there's any, I would say like things like a typo or, you know, something that you catch afterwards that, you know, grammatically incorrect or a typo or it looks weird. I mean, we can make those changes probably without this group. You know, if somebody from your group notices it, we can make that change without it being a big decision. If it's somebody that comes in and says, no, all of it's wrong, we have to redo everything, then we'll have to pull it back to another meeting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you
I have a
want-
question for them.
Michelle will send
Is-
that out.
is there a
finalize it,
specific
send
way
it
they
out.
want the room set up
And
for
if you
this?
guys don't have any more questions for us, we will, either let you guys get back to business or have a good rest of your night.
Sure, we have one more question.
Yeah,
How do you envision the room being set up?
We'll have to take up the space.
yeah, so do you know what kind of tables they have?
basically,
Shape they are?
well, they have a bunch of fold-up plastic tables, you know, like banquet-type tables. And then they have some ordinary cafeteria-type bench tables. You know, the old teepee ones you fold down.
Yeah, I think we'll probably come over and take a look at the space at some time.
You provide a layout?
Is probably the way we're gonna have to do it. If we use it, so usually it's like 5 to 6 people per table. There's no mapping exercise with this one, so the long rectangular tables won't be an issue. We can use those without any problems. The challenges that we have is if we're asking folks to do a lot of drawing or creative activities on the long rectangle tables, we tend to get a little too far apart. But, I mean, I think any of that will work fine. We usually set the room up in the sense of, you know, we get an idea of how many people are gonna be there. Like I said, groups of 5 or 6, we can do bigger groups, that's fine. They're all in the same room, right? We're not moving into different spaces, so if the cafeteria is big enough to hold how many people we think we're gonna have, we set it up that way. And for the most part, you know, these groups are working together, and then there's periods of time where they might be turning and facing one direction as we're speaking, you know, just getting the activity out the door, you know, the instructions, or they're reporting out to the larger group. Did that answer the question?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So we usually, just cluster 5 or 6 people at a table, and then we'll have a table set up behind that or next to it, and kind of just fill the space as best we can, and as efficiently as we can, depending on how big the turnout is.
Do we have an idea of how many people might show up?
No idea.
Could be 1, it could be 30.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Hopefully a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll get a chance to come. I can coordinate with the school to go take a look at the space. So we have an idea before the day of the event, like what
Yeah.
we're gonna need and how
And
we
it's
wanna
a
set
big
it up.
gym, It's just a
And we
big
usually
open
get there at
gym.
Big
least
square
an
room.
hour early,
Yeah.
if not earlier, to set it up, change our minds, reset, and just make sure everything goes smoothly.
Okay,
Make sure we have all the power cords.
perfect.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah, and so the AV stuff is, we have our own projector, we have a screen if we need it. If the school has a large screen TV, that's great, and then we can share some of the questions that we have. We don't even necessarily need that. We can do it all without any type of computer or PowerPoint, anything like that. This is not a hybrid meeting. We didn't arrange it that way. If we have folks that they really want to attend and they cannot attend, we can kind of, the hybrid meetings in these groups are difficult. But we could do,
We can email the questions out.
yeah, we can email the questions out. We could also do a mini, virtual meeting like this. So we don't want to exclude anybody that just can't make it. So we can make accommodations if it's needed. It's not off the table. It's just not widely promoted that we'll do a hybrid. We haven't had a lot of people participate in a forum like this, hybrid, and it's just not usually they're participating because they're doing something else at the same time. It's not because they cannot attend, it's because they are doing something else at the same time. And it just doesn't work that well for providing input and participating fully.
Okay,
But if you do have folks that can't make it and they really wanna come, let's figure out how to get them involved.
okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you need anything, you guys have our contact.
Yeah.
So if we missed anything or you guys need further clarification, feel free to reach out
all
anytime.
right. All right, we will, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Have a good night.
Have a good
Thank you,
night.
guys.
Take care.
Should've just said the afternoon right after town meeting. Yeah, a few people there.
It'll be
They
all
weren't
worn
too
out.
tired.
I don't know, town meetings have been pretty easy recently.
I like the last question on the town meeting. Just like, all right, let's lump all of this together and everybody votes yes and then we're out of there.
Not that easy.
No. I think that's just for the charitable donations. Mark, did we still want to approve the minutes from November?
Sure.
Can we do that? Okay.
And does everybody have those?
I emailed them out and then I just made you a copy.
Okay.
I didn't know if you want to take a minute to read them.
And did everybody see the minutes from November?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I read 'em.
Okay, so I guess I would entertain a motion to
Make a
approve,
motion.
Second?
motion made and seconded to approve the November meeting minutes,
November 5th.
November 5th, yes. And what else on the agenda, is that it?
Yeah, that was it, really. I don't know if anybody has questions or if anybody wants to already volunteer to do setup and take down and all of that stuff, or if we just wanna hold off and let them send us the
Yeah.
form. Just let them send it. Okay, great.
That way you're not tracking us, we can just fill it out.
And, yeah, all right,
Cool.
sounds good.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
second, motion been made and seconded to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
No,
not it.
thank you guys, all right, we're rolling now.
All right, enjoy the snow.
Yeah.